Hello guys, welcome to Unspoken with Jesse and
Joseph. And this is not a podcast. No, it's not. It's not.
So guys, we're here to take you on a ride on different topics that are unspoken, are in your mind to be said. So stay tuned, we'll be back.
Welcome back, guys. So, Jesse, can we talk about healthy and unhealthy love?
Well, it depends on the angle you're coming from, because some people are in a healthy love relationship, so to say, right? And some people are in unhealthy relationship, experiencing unhealthy love, but they don't know. So healthy love and unhealthy love, it depends on the angle that you're coming from, and it depends on who is in it. Because some people are actually enjoying their unhealthy love anyways, without them knowing. But because we've overused emotional abuse, so you may not necessarily call it abuse to them. It's not an abuse to them. That's how they enjoy being loved. So it depends on the angle you're coming from. Is it unhealthy love in a way? In what way?
Okay, so that's right there is what I personally think the problem lies, right? It is the self-awareness to know when something you are experiencing is healthy or unhealthy.
How many people are self-aware?
That is the point. So there's a way people go through certain processes, right? Go through life without knowledge of the fact that, okay, what I'm going through right now is not ideal, because maybe through your entire process, your entire life, you used to a particular lifestyle, you used to a particular treatment. So over time, it becomes normal for you.
Okay.
Right. So people go through diverse forms of abuses in relationship without an iota of knowledge that, okay, this thing I'm going through, or this thing I'm eating right now is poison. So you just keep eating it.
You're not their savior, so they don't know. And you know, the thing is, some of us were abused while growing up. I'm sorry, African parents are abusers.
They understand.
They don't. So some of us were abused while growing up, and it gets to a certain point in our lives. It's either God delivers you, religion delivers you, or maybe exposure delivers you, that you now know that, oh, this was actually an abuse. Which also brings me to the point where I would say parents of these days are raising rubbish in the name of Gen Z. So those abuses actually help.
Are you actually really ready to take up this fight against
against
this generation
of you, I am ready. I don't care.
Against this generation of
like, I see some kids, I'm like, who is raising this?
Okay.
Yeah,
zip it.
Yeah.
Zip it.
But then some of us went through abuses, emotional abuse, verbal abuse, domestic abuse from our parents, our elder sisters and elder brothers. I'm the eldest, so.
Did it happen to you?
No, it happened to me.
It
happened to me. It happened to me because, in fact, I feel like the firstborns of firstborns of every family in Africa.
I agree.
Was abused.
They take the most hits.
Yes, were abused.
Sorry to cut you short, right? There are things that were done to my elder sister. She's a soldier now, right?
that's
there were things. No, I grew up and I saw all these things. There were things our parents did to my elder ones that were not done to me. I actually happens to be the last one, right?
Oh.
In the name of discipline. No, let me. We'll get there eventually. We'll get there eventually.
I hate this part where Joe says he's the last one. I hate it. Like, guys.
Last born and only boy, as a matter of fact.
How are you responsible? It's supposed to be spoiled and stupid and badly behaved.
Okay, this is the part where we pause this so I can beat up Jesse.
How are you the last one and you are the only son, and you are
You said
still behaved.
You said something. It's either God delivers you, or what was the other thing you said?
Religion or exposure, or maybe your senior in secondary school
Let's just
beats
give-
the mess
let's
out of
just-
your head.
Let's just give all the
So
glory
that
to God.
okay, so God should take all the glory. So the thing is, a lot of us went through that. I suffered unhealthy love from my parents, and I wouldn't blame my mom because she was a single mom. Her dad died like very, very early, so she had a lot of expectations of me, and people have a lot of expectations of her because they feel like a woman cannot raise children. Talk more of raising 4 boys, adopted 1 boy, and the only girl. So the expectations were so high that you're not going to be spoiled in my house. You know, some people at my age mates were getting pregnant at 15, at 14, and she was like, instead of you to get pregnant, I'll kill you and born another one. You know, that kind of a thing. So a lot of things. And because her husband had died earlier, she kind of went into depression for many years. She almost didn't survive that heat and all of that. So she was literally transferring aggression on me. Like my mom literally beats me up for smiling. Like me and her were walking on the road and a fine boy is coming and we were gisting, you know. This gist is sweet because she used to be my best friend. I wouldn't say she's no longer my best friend, but she's still my best friend, but we literally used to talk about every other thing and we were very close before I left home. I ran away from home, actually. When I say I ran away from home, it's not as a teenager. I ran away from home 20-something years old.
It's important to clear that. Maybe you should
No, it's not as a teenager. Not like I ran away from home. I'm a graduate. Like I graduated and I started like so I have to. My mother wanted me to finish NYSC and still come back home. Like who does that?
A lot of them do.
Like my mom literally does not believe that a girl that is not married should live alone. So I ran away from home. So that's the kind of running away. So to show you where I'm coming from, like it was a toxic relationship between me and my mom. And she loves me so dearly. My mom stopped buying things for me when I was like 28. Like 4 years or 3 years ago. That's when my mom stopped buying pant and bra for me. So it was a toxic relationship. But she really, really loves me. I don't know if I should call that an unhealthy relationship or unhealthy love. Because she literally wants me to live in her shadow, you know, be with her, get married. If it was possible for her, I would have gotten married like when I was 17, you know, start having children so that the world will see that she didn't fail. I didn't get pregnant and all of that, you know. Every of my birthday, I'll swear an oath. Then I'll go to the hospital and check if I'm still a virgin. You know, I'm still a virgin anyways.
Is this a movie script or this is actually a real life situation?
That's my mom. Like, that's my mom.
So all your birthdays, you have to go through some...
Like, as I'm growing older, she feels like as I'm growing older, I have to keep up. Like, she wants to be sure that...
It's still intact. Yes,
I have to marry a virgin, which I will still be. Which I'll still be. Like, I'll still marry a virgin, you know? You know, that's what I'm saying. So, that's what I don't know. Which one is toxic relationship and which one is actually unhealthy love. She really, really loves... My mom lives for me. She has 4 boys. Yeah? I think the only person my mother loves above me, I'm sorry, Mom, is her younger brother. Like I say it every day that she loves her younger brother more than anybody in the world. My mom loves her younger brother. So I feel like the only person my mom loves more than me is her younger brother. But then she was trying to achieve something with me.
She saw you as a project.
Yes. So like you have to turn out good. And I was living on a pedestal. I have to turn out good.
And just say,
so imagine some people that are in that kind of relationship, maybe in marriage, their mom, their siblings. Is it unhealthy love?
You see, this is one thing you've done right now, right? you've blown open this conversation in a way that just makes sense. So it raises a lot of questions. Can a mother's love be toxic? You see, because there are two perspectives right now. From everything you've said, we can now classify love, right? We can now say toxic or healthy and unhealthy love from maybe family, talking about love from your mom, love from your parents, and healthy and unhealthy love as relates to romantic relationships, like from love from husband to wife, spouse, and all of that. So the first point of stop, given everything you've said, is this very important question: can a mother's love be toxic? Can your parents love you into your destruction? Can a mother's love be dangerous to the receiver? Right?
Yeah, I think so.
So I won't just end there. So it gets me thinking. All right, there's a friend I had, growing up. I wouldn't want to call names because if I do, in fact, if he's listening to this, he will know I'm actually making reference to his case, right? But I wouldn't still want to call his name. So growing up, we all knew this guy wanted to sing. We all knew, right? Because from a very tender age, this guy will. You remember what was that? Growing up, there are songs we used to vibe to. Craig David. Okay. Look at the person talking about. You are the one talking to. You are talking about Gen Zs, really? I don't know.
No, the thing is, my case is different. I grew up in a deeper life family.
Let me take you all the way back. I met this girl on Monday, took her for a drink on Tuesday.
Excuse you. They used to toast me with that song.
And excuse you. So these are songs this guy could do from the top of his head. While in school, every girl just loved him and all of that. So we knew from that time, when entertainment was not a big deal in Nigeria, the way
that
it is
this
right
one's
now,
supposed to blow.
Somehow, the mom, of course, was a single parent. Their dad died at a very tender age. The mom was a civil servant, right, working with the local government at the time, and was doing very well. But somehow, the mom insisted and molded medical profession into his life, uninstalled music and installed.
Okay, that's the thing that I'm saying about. I just said parents' love can be toxic. You just asked the question. Where is that guy now?
Cool. Now, this guy went through all of that, studied through medical school, or went through medical school rather, and because I want to believe, this is personal opinion, because that was not what he wanted to do with his life. He spent longer time, studying University of Calabar.
What's he doing now?
He is in between music. He's in between music and his medical profession. Now, this is what happened. This is what I'm going to. After medical school, at some point, you break free from all that.
That's when I say I ran out from home.
Do you get? So he did that very late. And you have to understand that music makes sense from a particular age. I'm not.
Anyways, I don't care. I don't care.
Music actually makes sense from it. There's the age you get to, and you can't actually start doing certain things anymore. Okay, for instance, football. Right? If you are not allowed by your parents in Nigeria as of today to start playing football at a certain age, you can't start playing football at the age of 25.
Thank God I am allowed to do fame.
You're lucky. You're lucky. So
I'm not lucky. I ran away from home.
So let me wrap up with this guy's story. He finished medicine and now realized that, I still
want to do music because it's music I want to do.
He tried repeatedly, tried again, and it just isn't working.
And now he will live frustrated all his life. So that is the toxic love that our parents gives us that doesn't work. Because I know that a lot of people, you guys are going to see a lot of this face, so I'm sorry. So a lot of people that grew up with me, are shocked to see me in the entertainment industry. Because if you know my mother.
And you have a deeper life background.
Yes.
Jesus only is a message. How did this reach?
Oh, Jesus. Like, if you know my mother, Chico, Michael, a lot of my schoolmates in college and all of that, when they see my posts and maybe they see I'm doing movie, they're like, oh, we're so proud of you. Then some of them will be like, we know you had it in you, because I was a rebel. Yeah, I was a rebel in Scripture Union. I was a rebel in NYAH. NYAH, as a leader in NYAH, you don't wear trousers, you don't do lipstick, you don't do nails. So I was a rebel. I do all of those things. So they were like, no, we know we have it in you, you know. But then, you know I have it in me. But you people were seeing me as a rebel then. Like, why is she wearing trousers? Why does she like Genevieve? Why does she always post Beyonce on her WhatsApp story? All those kind of things.
That judgment that happened.
Exactly. So then my mother is not helping me. My mother will send me prayer. Evil communication, corrupt good manners.
Praise the Lord.
He said, this person you are looking up to, is it Jesus? You have to look up to Jesus. Beyonce
like
is not Jesus. It's not like Jesus. Is it Jesus? So it actually makes sense now to some of them. And they're like, you're such a strong girl. I love you. You know, so, and it makes me happy. I've not even achieved anything. The fact that I stood up and did what a lot of my friends, we grew up in Sunday school, and all of them, I was their Sunday school teacher as a teenager then, because I said I needed to impress. I needed to turn out good. So I was doing everything to show my mother that I wanted to be good. I'm not trying to be what you don't want me to be. So I was a Sunday school teacher, I was in choir, I was doing church every day. So I was going to church. If you smile at me as a brother, you are dead. Because my mother will literally tie a wrapper to your house and warn you. Like, you don't try it. Warn your son. You know, that kind of a thing. So I was trying to prove a point, and I was doing all those church activities. I was living that life and all of that. So now I feel like I've not achieved anything, but me standing up for myself and doing the things I've always wanted to do all my life. There was a time I was walking like Genevieve. I was dressing like Genevieve. I'm like, everything about Genevieve was me. But you don't do it where my mother is around. It's only when she went for August meeting. So at some point in my life, I finished school, started working in civil service. I worked in other media houses and all of that, and some other places. And I didn't survive there. My HR hated me. In fact, the last job, not my last job, second to my last job before I came back, I came out to...
How many did you trash?
I did a lot. I did a lot of trash. I did teaching that they were paying me 8,000 naira. Then when I finished school, then I worked in other places that I can't mention, and then I did this job. That was when I knew that, okay, the sign is already coming out. It's time for me to move. My HR will literally come to my decks and tell me, Jessica, I hate you.
Straight to the point.
Yes, no, she tells me. She'll come and make me that I hate. Why? Because of my heels, my dress. I want to, dress like in the magazine and all of that. Yeah. So she was like, it's not in this office. You wear shoes and be quiet everywhere. I wear rings, I do all of those things. So when I finally moved, left my job after lockdown, as I'm not doing again, I came to Lagos to do entertainment. That step alone makes me happy because a lot of people are inspired. A lot of my friends are married. In fact, I don't know any of my friends that are single. They look at me and like, thank you. Thank God you took this step. Like, we are so proud of you that you actually stood up and did this.
For yourself.
Like, you did you are doing what you know you wanted to do. Some of them felt like, okay, some of us, after school is marriage.
Because there were timelines.
After school
there were actual timelines.
Yes.
So, I'm sorry to say, these mothers drive it into your head so much so that
you feel like if you don't achieve this thing,
if you don't meet those timelines, you failed.
Exactly. So one time I kept my list with my mom for 6 months because she was referring me to other of my friends that are married.
Comparing you to.
Yes, like this person is married, he has how many children, yeah, you soon be 30, you soon be 30, you soon be 30, you soon be 30.
And so what, Mom?
And I was not looking at
So
30.
what,
The
Mom?
30 was looking like us. I'm like, is it not 30 years? Am I going to die? It won't be 30, it won't be 30. I just blocked her.
I had the opportunity to counsel a young girl, recently. But before I even go into that conversation, see, now, everything you've said, these are the issues, actually. Big question is, why did these parents do these things? Is it that they did not or they don't? Because I don't want to use past tense for it. These are things that are still happening. These things are still happening in our community till tomorrow, right? Why do they do these things? Do they do it for their own ego, so they can have the bragging right to say, oh, my daughter is a medical doctor,
Yes.
my daughter is this, my
Yes.
daughter is that?
Yes.
Or is it from a place of ignorance?
No.
Because they don't know better?
No.
These are all conversations, we should have. Because to start with, if it's from a place of, okay, if the reason why they drive and they dedicate their lives to making their children projects that they want to see, they have these templates that if you are not this, if you are not modeled through this, if you don't become this, the daughter of, if you don't look like the daughter of all.
So I feel like our parents live a competitive life.
Exactly.
So your mom is raising you jeje in her house, but her eyes is in another person's house. Auntie, remove your eye from my house. Focus on your house. Remove your eyes from another person's house. So they are living a competitive life. They want to, what they didn't achieve, they want to achieve through us.
Which is actually, no, okay. Now, I was about to say that wanting your child to achieve what you could not achieve could be a good thing, or should be a good thing. But trying to achieve what you could not achieve through your child is what becomes toxic.
That's where the toxic love comes in.
Becomes toxic.
Exactly, because my father wanted me to be a medical doctor by all means. And I kept, I didn't keep writing JAMB, I just wrote twice and I was tired. I almost got in anyways, but it is what it is.
Imagine you got in.
I would have been a good medical doctor because I'm a very passionate person and I'm very kind. But
would you be happy?
No, I would have been happy, but I would have been causing problems because I'll be wearing heels to theater. That's the thing. Like, I will be that doctor that I'm always on heels. Like, my medical directors will hate me.
So let's be very clear, right? The conversation on the table right now is not to make parents look bad.
We've not even gotten to romantic love and romantic.
We'll get there eventually. So Jesse, now because before people take this out of, blow this out of proportion, and there are people who are just, unfortunately, just there to misunderstand and misquote, right? The idea is not to demonize
Joe,
the love.
Joe, wait, let me do this one. Do not edit this one at. I did not say my mother hates me. I did not say my mom is not my best friend.
This is let me help you.
Let me tell you something.
Let me tell you.
If you drag my mama, I promise you, VDM is going through small. You will go through a lot.
No, let me tell you how it will come out. Upcoming podcaster. Matter of fact, this is
not a podcast.
It's not a podcast. But this is what you hear. Upcoming podcaster and wannabe producer confesses that
she grew up in a toxic environment.
When the mom, no, it's usually not that long. They will always find a way to make it short. So this is not us saying.
When you want to cut it and join it, shall I cut this one that I'm saying that I say my mother loves me after her younger.
And I love her right back.
And
I love her right back.
No, if you want to know whether I love her, drag her.
Okay, so the idea is just to, should I use the word create some awareness?
Yes.
And hope that people who are in those situations can learn and improve, right? And understand that every child born to every family comes with
Different gifts, different
destiny.
talents, different destiny.
You understand? And except you go to God, who assigns those destinies, right? It's impossible for you to just know. So, the advice is allow children to grow to become what God has destined for them to become.
We're not going to end on this note, but we'll go on a break. But before we go on a break, I want us to know something. When the Bible says, children, obey your parents in the Lord, honor your father and your mother, parents, there is a verse before that.
Is it
A verse before, either before or after that, that says, do not provoke your children to wrath. So
another translation says, do not provoke your children to anger.
exactly.
Simple English. So at least
If you don't know the wrath part, you can know the anger part.
Yeah.
So I feel like when we want to, do some things, we also have to balance it. And children, not because Jessica said I ran out of home and all of that. I was a full-blown adult, not 21. I was not 21, so to say. A full-blown adult. In fact, my best friend had 2 kids as at the time I've left home. She got married at 24. She already had 2 kids when I left home. So I'm not a child. I wasn't a child. So when you want to run away from home and use part of the clip, just know that I was a full-blown adult. And my mom was also in support of me because I had to make her understand that, Mommy, since husband know they come, make I find something. As husband know they come, now make I show she go make money.
Something just dropped in my mind, Jesse, because you see, this issue, a lot of people assume that it's common with parents whose children are now 30 plus, right? But the very thing that's happening before our eyes that people are not paying attention to is the fact that we millennials who are now parents are repeating the same mistake our parents made.
How?
Good. The only difference is that we've found a way to modernize it. Do you get? Today, our parents did it to us because they wanted to take pride in the fact that their children became, medical doctors, lawyers, those professional courses that brought pride back in the days, right? But today's an average millennial parent wants his or her child to become either a footballer or a musician, or just one of those things, forgetting the fact that there are children who are born today who are not given to any of those things, who actually want to become those medical doctors, lawyers, and teachers. You understand? But because you want to be Mbappe's next dad, or Messi, or Ronaldo's next dad, you are forcing your children and registering them in football colleges, because these are the careers, these are the professions that brings a lot of money.
There's no money they're looking for.
The pride,
Fame.
So an average parent wants their children to grow up to become either musicians or very popular movie actors or footballers. So from a very tender age, before the child is even able to grow to understand what God's purpose is for their life, without even being prayerful about it, right? You as a parent, you want this child to become...
You're already telling us he wants to be a musician. He likes Kiss Daniel. Oh my God.
Just because this child
he
likes Kiss Daniel.
loves Davido.
Exactly. And then you see them register these children in
I feel like human beings
colleges.
are naturally selfish.
Greedy.
So what they do is they are also trying to live their life through their children.
Exactly. And these are the same people that are complaining today about what their parents did to them.
Are you sure they're complaining?
No, they are
You're
actually.
not paying them now.
Most of them are. So this is what is happening. Now you're complaining that you wanted to become a footballer, for instance, and because your parents did not allow you to do...
So Junior should be a footballer.
Exactly. Exactly. So the same damage your parents did to you by forcing you to become a medical doctor when actually you wanted to become a musician is the same damage you are probably doing to Junior.
The cycle continues.
Exactly. So now you're forcing Junior to become the medical or to become the footballer that your parents did not allow you to become, right? And then Junior by tomorrow will probably now
want the son
to become the medical doctor that he would have preferred to. So the damage continues like that.
Can we even talk about damage in romantic relationships? Please, can we move the table? So my leg no fit. So my leg will not touch it.
You know, first of all, you see, this is one aspect that people should. I feel you. It's because you don't have the powers to decide who your parents. You don't have the power to pick your parents.
Anyways, if I want to come back again, I think I still want my mom and my dad.
I understand that. I know where you're headed, but this is what I'm trying to say, right? Your parents are assigned by birth. You know, you're born and then you grow. Okay, mom, that love exists, right?
I still want my mom and dad, but with bigger money.
No, you didn't have a choice. That's the point I'm trying to make. You didn't have a choice.
Yeah, I get
right?
it. I understand.
But in romantic relationships, the difference is that you look at this individual, and they are even, for me, I feel for romantic relationship, there's a selection process.
Is there?
There is a selection process.
Yeah.
All right, this guy meets you wherever, and then he tells you that, oh, okay, I love you. That's your selection. That's your recruitment process. There's
But
a whole...
sometimes they say it as if they mean it.
There's a whole interview that goes on that we give different names, dating, whatever. There's a whole interview process, right? And then you go through all this interview, and then you finally hire and decide that, okay, this is the person I want to be with.
Spend the rest of my life.
And you still cannot. So...
You still cannot what? Figure out whether you are being loved well or not.
Or not. So what is the problem?
Okay. That's the thing. I just don't like talking in cases like this because some people will not say she's not even married. If not married, I'm not married.
I don't keep person.
So in this type of conversation, my friends that knows me deeply knows what I'll say. There's somebody that will watch this thing now. He already knows what I'll say.
This thing, not podcast.
Yes. This show, not podcast. Be warned. So, he already knows what I'll say. And what I will say is, they are badly raised.
The people, the what? Say it again.
They are
Who?
badly
Who are the people
raised.
who are badly raised? No, I want to be specific. So
The people giving toxic and unhealthy love are badly raised. The people receiving toxic and unhealthy love are badly raised. You know why I said that? Because being raised is not an insult for me to your parents. No. It's not an insult for me to your parents. It's an intentional thing. Growth is intentional. You've been born. You're growing. Your maturity is in your hands. You decide what you want to do with your life. I know somebody that keeps saying, I have a daddy issue. I have a daddy issue. You look freaking keep quiet. You have a daddy issue, sort it out.
There are daddy issues, actually.
Yeah, I should have a daddy issue too. I should have, because before I could turn 12, the guy was nowhere to be found. He went to heaven. And that's a situation I couldn't have handled. And he shattered my mom, he shattered me. So I should have a daddy issue. But I have to figure out how to survive. so I won't be hurting people around me, so that I won't hurt my siblings, so that I won't hurt my friends. So you don't wake up every morning and be shouting, I have a daddy issue, and you're toxic. Then you're giving out toxic love, you're giving out unhealthy love to people, making people feel small, manipulating people, being a narcissist, and you're having an excuse. Go for therapy or enter church, enter mountain of fire. Let them deliver you. I used to go for deliverance that place. So maybe that's part of it, Sha. You know, people who go through these things and who receive these things, it's either you are not properly loved at home, so you just take any kind of love. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Like, this man loved me. My life. There's no freaking man that will love me more than I love myself. I'm so loved at home that there is no love you give to me that will make me as, like, that will be strange, I will be blown away, that when you are now not giving me what I deserve, I will not be like, oh, he so loved me. No, beating me is not a problem. Calling me an idiot is not a problem. You dare not do that. You don't do that. So if you're properly raised, you are from, even if you are from somewhere that is the self-awareness we spoke about in the beginning. Like, you know that this is not good for me. You bring yourself out of it. It is hard, actually.
It's like eating poison and feeling like,
and,
oh, it's
and
food.
I want to be alive. Do you get? You know, you come out of it and you go for therapy, you know. Sort yourself out before you get into relationship. Don't come looking for who to babysit you, either as a girl or as a man. I'm not even talking about maybe man or woman. It's not a gender thing. A lot of men and women are broken. They are hot. Like your favorite guy in the world. He's a broken man. He should seek therapy. So, and some of them enter marriages. If you like, don't smile. When you get upstairs in your room, you smile. A lot of human beings get into relationships and they feel like, there's something I want to say, I'm swallowing it. They feel like,
no, go ahead.
No,
Go ahead.
it's
This
not
is
me. It's
unspoken.
not me you will put in jail.
This is unspoken.
It's not me you will put in jail.
Go ahead.
You know, a lot of people get into relationship with their toxic life and they want to share it. And you want somebody that is well brought up, that have love, self-love first of all, family love, friendship love. I'm not one of those people that go on social media and be shouting, men are scum, men are scum. My father was not a scum. My mother is raising fantastic boys. They are not scum. My best friend married to the kindest man ever. The kindest man ever. Like, there is nothing to compare to Jerry's kind heart and how he treats her and everybody around her. I'm surrounded by men, good men, so I cannot come out and be shouting, bad man, bad man, bad man.
When that has not been your experience.
That's not my experience. I'm blessed to have good men around me. Okay, I know one that is an idiot.
One exception.
I know one that is an idiot. But the thing is, do you know the funny thing? This happened to be my relative.
Oh, the idiot one.
Idiot one, yes. To be my relative. But guess what? We show him shege. So you cannot be an idiot around us. So we are showing him shege.
So you see, Jesse, I won't have a problem if people who are toxic, right, are just able to somehow, by some form of miracle, if nature can just align that they find themselves.
They don't. That's the funny part of it. And it now makes those ones that are not toxic now feel like they're doing something bad. If you're not self-aware, your emotional intelligence is not high, you now feel like you are the problem, because they make you feel like you're the problem. Have you ever seen where somebody offended you, then the person will now find a way for you to offend her back, then will now seek for you to apologize?
See, Jesse,
they are in our offices, they are in the industry, They are our toasters and our girlfriends. Break up, break up, break up, break up every day.
You see, it's very important that I wish we had a lot of time, right? So we get as practical and we're able to drive this home with typical examples so that someone listening will understand. I feel the reason why a lot is being said about this particular topic and yet it looks like the situation gets worse every single day is because a lot of people who are talking about it I don't feel they drive it home as they simplify this conversation as much as it needs to be done, right? So sometimes different words, bogus words are used, right? And then it now flies over the people who are supposed to digest the communication. You understand? So now, sometimes people just hear the word toxic. I had a conversation with, a younger fellow, and then I needed to ask. He kept saying, yeah, I had an ex who was toxic. I'm like, what exactly was toxic in that relationship? What did this person do that you consider toxic? At the end of the day, I just understood that there was really nothing, right? This person just, because the words are being used, it's flying out there. So you just feel you understand. So it's important that when having conversations like this, understanding that the people who were even consuming this information are sometimes not. First of all, you talked about self-awareness, which is, of course, very important. Self-awareness is when you are able to separate what is going to kill you from what you are supposed to actually accept, right? Enough to know that, okay, what this person is doing to me, in fact, it has a whole lot to do with you understanding what your rights are in a relationship and what you are entitled to, your entitlements, right? What this person, is it even right for me to get slapped, right? Some people, I met a couple, or I met a girl who justified getting hit by her boyfriend, not even her husband, because she cheated. She actually legit said that the only time that, he slapped me, it was understandable because I cheated. So I'm like, no, that was no.
Both he that slapped and she that cheated.
Do you understand? So there are other options, right? If this person cheats on you,
get away.
Slap does not fix it.
Get away.
And you know the crazy part? Sometimes some people are not even able to identify this love. I would like to say that. You see, that thing they call toxic love, it's always very intense. In fact, to identify the difference, I would say that toxic love is intense. Healthy love is comfortable.
I've not experienced the other one, so I don't know.
The unhealthy one.
The toxic
one.
The
toxic one. You know that kind of hot love that comes from... I don't want to blow this open too much, but I would like us to drive it home, right? That kind of intense love that a lot of times is built around sex. A lot of times, I would like to break it down.
I can't
that kind of intense love. That kind of intense love, right? Or should I call it intense feeling that you have, that is so dependent, you get to the point where...
That's a mental issue you are defining.
Yes, and that is what it is. Matter of fact, that is what it is.
You are defining a mental issue.
You are so dependent on this individual. So dependent on this individual, so much so that there is no time, you are incapable, right, of achieving your own happiness without this person.
As I said, I can't relate. Like, I'm so lost. As you're saying it, I don't know how to contribute. I'm sorry.
So,
we're those pampered,
properly loved.
Do you want to eat? Why are you sad? Why is your face like that? Can't speak to you anyhow. Like, I've never dated anybody that called me stupid before. I've never been in a relationship that we had a heated argument. And we are saying, stupid, you're mad, and at the end of the day, we'll come back together. If me and you,
I think we should
ever
start.
have a relationship where we call each other stupid, just know that I'm blocking you for life. I'm not joking. I've never been there, both in girlfriend and girlfriend, like my girlfriends. I've not been in that kind. I will just leave. I don't know how to survive in that environment, like where I'm dating a man and then we have a heated argument and he's calling me, you are mad, are you stupid, are you mad, you know they use your head. I see it, I'm like, I cringe, like, why is he talking to you like that?
But Jesse, let me tell you something, right? Toxic relationships don't always manifest in the form of abuses like this. You understand, where they have verbal, physical abuse and all
Okay.
that. There are other manipulative things that people do
I've not experienced it.
to stress you mentally.
I'm
No, it's just important that I highlight it.
That's the thing. You know why I've not experienced it? Let me tell you why I know. I've not experienced it. I'm not saying I've never met such men. It's a different thing.
Have you ever been in a relationship with someone who would rather give you silent treatments when there's an issue
I
that
need us
communication
to
should
talk
solve?
about
Yeah.
that. Talk about, and
Yeah.
he doesn't want to talk about
Yeah.
it. He's quiet about it.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's a form of abuse.
Yes, and I walked away.
So it is very important that these issues are highlighted the way we just did, so that people understand that, right? It is not every relationship that you are meant to be in.
It's only one now.
You understand? No, not every relationship that is meant to lead to marriage.
That's what I'm saying.
Your
It's only one.
intestine, your intestine is not.
Keep trying. The way I'm trying, you try, it did not work.
I don't keep having sex, you know.
No. You said who's talking about sex? I did not mention sex.
No,
I
the
said
thing
you
is,
keep trying. When you try, it did not work.
you
Go.
I also have a deeper life background. So in one of those the deeper life, they call it STS, search the scriptures. The only time in service where people are allowed to ask questions. So I'm saying, this is because I just remembered something. So there was this youth couple in church.
Don't do that.
Deeper life, don't
do that, don't do
you
that.
know, deeper life does not tolerate. In fact, you can't even bring it up. In Assemblies of God, it is called appearance of evil. Now, you've not committed the sin, no. You've not committed the sin.
It's
The
appearance.
fact that you are looking like you're going to commit the sin in
You're
future,
thinking about it.
you're in trouble. You're in trouble. So in deeper life, you are not even allowed to process or think about the possibility of dating. You understand, or being in a relationship, a romantic relationship with somebody
And
before
guess
marriage.
Guess what? We had so many unwanted pregnancies.
It happens, of course. So this brother, a youth couple, actually went stood up in church and was asking what the pastor, as at the time, had to say about trial marriage. That is the word I was looking for. You understand? Because there were certain words that were just prohibited at the time. You cannot say courtship, because they ask you, what do you understand? Courtship, dating, they all sounded so simple.
I am not saying that I'm doing trial marriage. I know where you're going with this. I'm just saying that.
So trial marriage, I hope it doesn't involve.
No. You just meet people and you see signs.
Okay.
You just move on.
Just the talking stage.
Exactly, move on. Is everybody that you just meet? Well, let me not go there. But you just meet people and you see signs and you move on. You just don't entertain it.
So Jesse, what's the take home?
Well, the take home is if you are not properly raised yourself.
And for those who are victims as of today.
Yes, for a lot of people, I feel like we take therapy so lightly. In this, I do therapy like every other month. If I mention the name of my therapist, a lot of people knows him. I do therapy all the time because I know that Nigeria is a lot, family is a lot, love relationship is a lot. As they say, men has come. I have no experience it. I don't have it. So you just have to go to therapy.
You see,
heal yourself. Find healing. Find healing from family abuse, friendship, environment, everything. Find healing so that you won't be going about hurting people.
You see, that makes a lot of sense. You know why? Because, you see, but there's something I want to say, right? When Jesse talks about therapy, people feel like, oh, you need to have money to access professionals. No, in fact, let me simplify it. what therapy might actually be for you is simply to make an effort to talk to somebody that has sense.
Okay, the person I
Just
talk
talk
to,
to somebody that
the
has
person
sense.
I talk to is one of the smartest human beings in Nigeria.
And that's because you have access. I'm just trying to drive it
You
home.
can you
For
there are a
people
lot
who
of
may not,
intelligent people
just talk to
out there.
people that have
People that have had
sense.
experiences.
There is no way.
Exactly.
There is no way you tell me that in your life, right? If you in your life, your entire life, you're an individual out there, and in your entire life you cannot identify one person
that have sense around you.
then that's
Then
where we have a
don't need
problem.
therapy, you just
That's where we have a problem. So I think we've done justice to.
and live unhealthy relationship. You can identify it. You know what I'm talking about.
You can't stop overemphasizing
you know,
that. Yeah.
Live an unhealthy relationship. If it's unhealthy, leave it. It's not a do or die affair. You'll be fine, trust me. Being alone is not a cause.
So thank you very much for listening to this episode of Unspoken, which, as a matter of fact, is not
It's not a podcast.
at all.
It's not a podcast.
No, not a podcast. Thank you so much for being our audience on this episode of Unspoken, which, as a matter of fact, is not a podcast at all.
At all.
Okay, thank you very much for listening to us. Thank you for always being there. Thank you for getting on this journey with us.